I'm going to share with you exactly what I shared with that client, where 97% of his practice was PPO. So let me walk you through it. So I said to him, I said, Doctor, there's a way that you can test this. I think if we do the right prep and if we have a relationship-driven practice, I asked him, by the way, how on a grade scale, remember elementary school grading scale, Naren, A, B, C, D, or F?
Yes. Yes.
I asked him, I said, Doc, let me ask you a question. It's very, very subjective. I wish it could be more objective, but it's a very subjective question. And it doesn't have a lot of science behind it, but I'm interested in your answer all the same. In terms of being relationship driven, and what I mean by that is where you truly connect with your patients and you develop rapport, you and your team members develop rapport and relationship with your patients. Give a report card grade using our elementary school grading scale, A, B, C, D, or F. And he said, Gary, I'm very much enjoy, connecting with my patients. I've attracted team members that do that. And I would say we're probably a B plus, maybe A minus on that grading scale. That was his answer, Aaron. And he said, I said, what would keep you from being an A or A plus? And he said, well, frankly, I don't have enough time. I'd like to slow down. And the PPO model that I have doesn't allow me to slow down. So it's really lacking time to be able to spend a little bit more time with my patients. But he said, I have a team that genuinely care about my patients. I care about my patients. And we have a long tradition of that. This was a doctor that was in late mid-career, early 50s. I still think of that as kind of mid-career. And he said, I think we're a B plus, A minus. I said, well, with that standing point, let me show you how to test this. And so I said, what we're going to do is we're going to pick a plan in your practice. Let's go through, let's pick a plan that has a smaller number of active patients. And this was an office that had almost 20 PPO plans in the practice. And I said, let's take a look at it. Let's find a practice that has maybe between 100 and 200 active patients on that plan. And in his case, that particular practice plan that he chose was MetLife. And I believe he had something like 130 active patients who were MetLife patients. That was a smaller plan in his practice, wasn't the largest, of course, in his practice, which is very common in most practices, is Delta. But we started with a smaller plan. And then I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick a date in the future, coming up, and let's say the 1st of next month. And then we're going to identify every one of our MetLife patients that we see every day in our practice. We're going to identify who they are. And we're then going to designate someone, could be the doctor, could be the office manager, could be the hygienist, could be an admin team member. We're going to designate someone to have this conversation with them. And I'm going to share that conversation with you right now. And the conversation goes like this. So Naren, I'll role play as if I'm the doctor and you're my patient. Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
And remember, Naren is a MetLife patient, so we've identified him. And I've chosen, I said, hey, I'll talk to Naren. I know Naren pretty well. I feel like I've got good rapport with him. I'll talk to Naren today. But the reason we want to have multiple team members is on a given day, even with only 130 active patients that are MetLife, you might have a handful of MetLife on a given day, and you want to make sure we don't overburden either the doctor or any given team member. Does that make sense, Naren?
Yes.
So now the conversation is going to go like this. Hey, Naren, I want to share a discussion with you that I value your thoughts, and nothing's changing today. Nothing's changing today. But Naren, there may be a time in our future where we'll no longer be contracted with MetLife, your MetLife insurance company. They are becoming increasingly difficult to work with. And there may be a time where I'd no longer be contracted with them. Now, if we ever did that, Naren, and again, nothing's changing today, but if we ever did that, we'd set it up so you could still come here for your care. Whatever benefits you have from MetLife, you can use them in our practice. We'll still file your claims like we always have. And we'll still advocate for you to help you get every dollar of benefit. We're going to be on your side to help you get every dollar of benefit you have from that MetLife dental insurance policy. So nothing's changing today, but I wanted to give you a little heads up that there may be a time in the future where that changes. And I just wanted you to know ahead of time so it wouldn't come as a surprise to you. That's the conversation right there. Now what do? Now we listen. We listen to your patients. And I'll tell you what I hear most of the time. Now, there can be a variety of responses, as you might imagine, Naren.
Yes.
But what I hear most of the time is, oh, but nothing changing today? No. And sometimes I might say, but you'd still file my claims for me, right? I could still use my MetLife insurance, right? Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, okay. So it's a way to kind of float a trial balloon and listen to your patient responses. Some people won't have many questions. Okay, then I can still come here for sure, right? Yep. And you'll still file my claims for it? Yep. Okay. Now, some people might have some questions, and I want you to listen to the tone of those questions. Also listen to their response, because sometimes the responses are very encouraging. What might be an encouraging response that the patient might say, Naren? What would be, I'll put you on the spot. What might be a very favorable response that we hope we hear more of?
I wish you had done this earlier. I don't know why you put up with MetLife for this long. I hate these guys.
Yeah, they're difficult. That's one response.
Difficult.
Another might be,
Yes.
Doc, I really appreciate coming here. I would never want to go anywhere else for my care. That's the kind of thing that I'm kind of fishing for. That's
Right.
what we would like to hear.